Welcome to Synced On Air. I'm your host, Angelique Robb, and today we have Luis Benavides. We're having him back for a second time to go through a demonstration of Neighbor. So welcome, Luis.
Thank you, Angelique.
Awesome. Really glad to dive into this more. So go ahead and lead the way.
All right. So yeah, for context, our product, the goal of our product is to get landscape contractors from the first meeting to a yes and to a signed contract. That is the focus of the whole of our software. So we're gonna go through I'm gonna just like use a journey of how a landscaper would be on site with a customer, and we'll get how they would use Neighborbrite to get a yes and a contract sign and all of that stuff. So they say that AI has two purposes. One is saving you time. One is giving you more money. We are kind of focusing on the getting more money in your pocket kind of side of AI.
Love it.
So yeah, that's what we're doing. So just to understand the idea of the software is all about speed, and so not only getting to a yes, but also getting to a yes as fast as possible, and kind of getting the landscape contractor to look very professional. They're using all the tools that are available in the industry. And what we learned is that when you are the first part of the process is getting a scope of work, right? So it's just like what is it that we
Yes.
need to do? Before I can send you a quote or anything, I need to understand what you want. And a lot of times, what we realized and what we learned from our customers is that people don't know what they want. And so we build a
Exactly.
product. Yes, so and not knowing what you want just drags the process very, very long. So we set up to build the first part of the idea. The first features in our product were kind of how do we build a better Pinterest,
Mm.
and where you collect all the things you like and that you don't, and the also the view that we also learned that when homeowners are looking at a design from a top down level design like a CAD drawing, they were like, I don't know if I
They
like
couldn't
this,
understand it.
I need I
Yeah.
need to see it. I need to see it. And just getting the 3D version of a CAD drawing is so hard. And that's where we saw that it clicked for us. Is like, let's just skip the CAD drawing and let's go directly to how it's going to look like to see if that's what you want. And then just see many,
Yeah.
many, many different versions of that. So a landscape contractor in this case would upload an image, or we set it up also that if you haven't visited the property, you can put a street view, you can put an address, and we pull the street view of that
Awesome.
house, so you can design the house even before visiting. And we've had landscapers that told us that the customer was so surprised that it was like, wait, you just came in and you have already designs for my house. That is incredible. I have not seen that, and they won the deal because of that kind of like impressing the customer and
Mhm.
showing that what's possible. So they would upload the image, and this is what I was talking about. So we have 3 design modes, and the first part of the design was like the customer doesn't know what they want. They
Okay.
aren't clear. They want suggestions. They want to see images. The second level is when you already have an idea, but you want to iterate and you want to guide it. You have to guide the AI to give you the designs. And the third one is where you want full control and you want to,
Okay.
meticulously place every single aspect of the design. But the cool thing about the way we build the software is that you can actually go back and forth from any of these modes. You can start with one, and maybe let's just go through the example, and I'll show you how you can
Yeah.
go back and forth with this. But so imagine you're visiting this customer, and they're like telling you, I don't know where to start. I would like better curb appeal, and that's as far as they go. I know what I like, but I don't know what is it, how to describe it.
How to describe
Um,
it. Yeah.
so I have here preloaded a typical yard in America where maybe the grass is a little overgrown, and they would like to have a significant amount of curb appeal into this backyard, sorry, into this front yard. So we set up the software in a way that you can guide and you can tell it what is it that you want changed and what is it that you want to leave
Okay.
untouched. So this is one of the first features, and our software kind of like detects areas, like as I'm showing here. It will detect
Yeah.
the full tree. It will detect like some slabs of concrete. So yeah, just like with a couple clicks, you can select a couple areas that you want to redesign. And we have several ways you can select things. There's the automatic one, the magic one. But sometimes people just want to draw and say like change this.
Okay.
I want an area here new, and I want to change the foundation here. So you can also select it like that.
Okay.
And in this case, they want a carpet peel, so they want to reimagine what their house is going to look like. So when you click next, um, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to things that I already generated, so that people are not looking at spinners. But usually
Okay.
it takes about 30 seconds to generate a set of images. Yeah, so it's very quick, and you can actually do it live with the client. But here, the key thing is when we started also building the platform, the main thing that people wanted was like, well, is this going to work for my climate? And
Yes.
you AI might come up with some ideas, but some plants may not exist, or some plants may not work for my area. So we are now automatically from a city. We look at the USDA
Right.
database that tell us by city what is the hardiness zone for that city. Sometimes it changes by zip code. So like we set it so that you can change it. It's not 7B but 7A. That's something you can change.
Okay. You can
And
override it.
also correct. And the same with sun. That side of your yard, does it get full sun? Is it partial shade? Is it shade?
Okay.
And that will also kind of drive the AI in order to take those decisions. But the cool thing about this is that, so far, you can get here in less than a minute, and then you start saying like, okay, show the customer what are the kind of designs and design styles that you would want to see. And
Mhm.
this customer might like English, so let's do English. And then you generate it. There's a cottage, so you can generate a set and create what essentially is a Pinterest board of your own house
Their
in
house.
different versions. So this is naturalistic. And you can see like the sometimes it's really hard to tell what is AI and what isn't. So that is one thing we wanted to kind of build into the tool. It is that experience that you get, like maybe just that change on a flower bed that just facing the house, that is already transformative. And what we're hearing from landscapers is that even if the customer is not that is not their style, just the fact of seeing the transformation, like how,
Of their
like
own
immediately,
house.
yes, like their own
Yeah.
house, like immediately becomes more appealing. This is the thing you get to every night. Like then they become like the conversation is flips to like they're getting really excited. Oh, so I can see we can have these big boulders, statement boulders at the beginning, or maybe just more color and also more boulders and grasses. Oh, there we can put a pathway and connect
Yeah.
directly to the entrance. That is kind of an interesting thing. And then use like river rock and to cover the area. So in every single we build the app so that every single design that we present is going to be very different. When you
Yeah.
use a Gemini or ChatGPT, usually you get like we were struggling to get different things, so we had to build our
Variety.
own technology so
Yeah.
that we would drive very significant changes, so that every time you see an image here, it's going to be like something that you might have thought of, like this one, I don't like this. And that's the other thing. AI will give you bad ideas. Like they will give you bad ideas, he will give you good ideas. And the whole goal here is to just go and keep
To
exploring. Is like,
quickly
okay.
generate idea. Well, and sometimes, I used to always tell clients, it's almost more important to know what you don't like than what you do.
Mhm.
And you have to show them a wide variety. And like you said before, that takes a lot of time. But this has, in 30 seconds, you'll give them, I don't know how many come up.
So each set has 4, and each set of 4
Okay.
takes 30 seconds. So like you can
Yeah.
generate one, and then like in 30 seconds start having the conversation, and maybe I like more color. So okay, so let's, like, modern is usually kind of color mute, but let's do cottage, and then it's like starts like, oh, now it's quite colorful. And then you can think about those flower beds, and like a more flowery, more perennial, flowering perennial forward type of designs here. And that will guide exactly what you're saying, is like, what is it that you like about this? And what you usually get is like, oh, I do want to get have some grass, but I also want to, I see how the flower beds that are surrounding the area make everything look way more nice and cohesive, and so on.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can essentially, like, we have another, English is one of the favorite ones, especially in the East Coast, where you get like the hedges and like a much more formal type of
Okay.
design, and there, and
But this
sometimes it
sparks
doesn't
conversation. It's
exactly,
like, do you want an additional path to the front door? Because you can see how it draws you into the front door. Or do you,
exactly,
but that's also more expensive. So if you have a low budget, we could do a small bit of planting. If you have a higher budget and you want more of a transformation, you can add a wider path or, yeah. Yeah, no,
yes.
I think definitely drives a lot of discussion.
Exactly, exactly. So this is if you like, step one, what we said, the
Yeah.
first part of the design, where you are, if we go back here, you're applying a style, and the style is driving that inspiration and ideation. The
Yeah.
second the second part is, and what we also have very commonly, is that they have like a photo of their neighbors.
Okay.
They did this project, and actually neighbors drive. So when one does it, the other ones want to kind of like match the thing, uh, and then what they have is a photo of, or they have a Pinterest photo. So this is an example of a customer that I was working with, and they are like, oh, I just in love with this cottage view, like this cottage style that is like wild, low maintenance, and the things are very dense and colorful and beautiful, and all of that stuff. And what I like about this thing, like the hanging baskets.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
I love the hanging baskets. I love the decoration that they have on the windows. I like the color palette. So the second step is, when you okay, the way we give you the ability is that you can have an inspiration image.
Oh,
You can actually select an area of, because like with AI, if you use Gemini or ChatGPT, it's hard to, with words, say like, 5 feet to the left and five, this we were like, okay, no, we actually need to tell the system that this area here, and draw it and explain it to the system that that is what you want to do. So in this case, I uploaded this particular image, and
okay.
then I was like, take the color palette, take the idea of the hanging basket. So I described what the customer liked about this
About the
inspiration
photo.
image,
Yeah.
and this is what came back. So I was like, I had like, you can generate it, and then you can just try again. And in this case, we do less of like 4 ideas, because the 4 ideas are going to be very similar. We just do
Okay.
one at a time and make it super quickly. This one takes like 15 seconds. But I generated a couple, so you can just try again, and see like, it is very interesting. It's like a roulette. It's like interesting to see like how did it kind of reimagine the style with the house. But you can see here, it took the color palette, it took the flowers, it took the,
Yeah.
putting it close to the foundation of the house. And this, like, if you show that to like, they would be like, I could not have
That's
imagined
it.
where to hang the baskets. Like, this is it. Like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. That is something that can happen.
Think you'd
And
hit your head on the hanging basket on the right. But anyway.
that you are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And this is exactly the kind of things that AI does. So like, preparing users for AI will do some things that don't make sense. So
Yes.
that's where the next step comes in. exactly what you're saying. Like this hanging basket doesn't make sense here. You see that it decorated the window
Yeah.
in the same way that the window here was kind of decorated. I don't
Yes.
know why they would do that, but anyways, they did it that way. So it was like it took that as an example and put like a little planter
Window
here.
box. Yeah.
You know, the terminology, but you can very easily go into the advanced mode, and this is where the kind of the two things talk to each other. Is
Okay.
we have edit tools, and an example here is like I'm gonna hit my head with this hanging basket. So I'm
Yeah.
just gonna come in and these are all the tools that we have. This is the the full interactive mode of editing, and you can just circle that hanging basket. I'm gonna and this is the one I'm gonna take a little, but you can circle that hanging basket and erase it, and right there
Ah.
you can have that conversation. You're like, oh, the hanging basket, yeah, this is not gonna make any sense. Let's take it out of the picture. Boom, it's gone.
Or you
And a lot of
could you have moved it over next to the other one if you wanted to?
we could have moved it over to the next one, yes.
Okay.
And that's where the add elements come in. So
Okay.
I'm going to show you let's do it more interactive then. So the if you go to add elements, we have a library of 6,000 plants and all sorts of these are my elements. They're the ones that I've created myself. But if I wanted to get this particular hanging basket, so I'm gonna highlight the hanging basket, and so you see is a photo, and I'm gonna save it. And if I go back here, I can create a hanging basket. And what I do is I upload that photo of the hanging basket. So now it's going to take the photo, and the AI is going to analyze what that hanging basket is. Fingers crossed, it will create a hanging basket. There we go. So now we created this hanging basket, and as we save it, it will.
That's huge. Yeah. Oh,
I
that's
I will
perfect.
have this. I will have this hanging basket I can move around. I can. And it did take the colors and so on, but like then your hanging basket is fully movable,
Huh.
and you can
Yeah.
put it wherever you want, and you can do that with any element. The Yeah, like the example I had here is like if you see here, they have the beginning of a tree, like a very early version of a tree here. And
Yes.
I was thinking, well, that tree is going to be like covering the whole house when it's big. I don't know if I would want to have a tree there. So what I did was like I came into Magic Edit, and let me see here. What is it that I did? I removed the tree. I selected erase, and I removed the tree at the same way, like circled. Also removed the football, soccer ball here, just to make. And sometimes like you can use Magic Edit. I'll show you how to use Magic Edit. But yes, the idea here was okay. Hold on. So what I did was I removed this middle piece, and let me see, where are we here? I removed the middle piece. There we go. And with that elements, I was like, as I erased it, I went into the library and I found this fountain. And I just dropped it in the middle of the yard, because like what would it look like if I had a water feature in here? So I just dropped it there in the same way I dropped the hanging basket. But then I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, let's. Then I used Magic Edit, which is this feature here, and I asked it, oh, take this idea of a fountain and make it blend with the image and make some decorations around it. Uh, and I selected the area with Magic Edit, and boom, this is what it came
Huh.
back with. And you can ask it to try again, and it will give a different version of that fountain with decoration around it that might or might not look like the initial one. But this is where the play now it looks, for example, here it looks more like the original one that I had added, but
Yeah.
it added a different version, and added some flagstone in order to kind of like get into that water feature. So I think the power here is that you are able to manually play some elements, and maybe it looks rough initially, but then you come in with the edit tool with AI and fix it
Yeah.
and make it all blend together.
Well, and I think, the power of this, just thinking back to when I had a design team with my landscape business, it would take us, 3 months to get a design finished at, sometimes 6 months. And so we were only doing like hand sketches and trying to describe things to people on site. But the fact that you're doing this live in front of the clients that you've met for the first time, you don't have to go out and do a survey of the garden first. You don't have to, you know, spend a lot of time to get, the blank drawing done to then do ideas and the mood boards and all this. I think this is very powerful if you use it in the right way. Like
Yes.
it's that dialogue. Like it increases the discussion between you and the client. Your ideas can be can spark a picture of their house
Yes.
like live in front of them.
Yes. Yes. So that, and one of the things that we built on top of, before I show you the other one, is as you're in this editing mode, and this is quite powerful as well. When you're adding elements, we have done integrations with nurseries. If you're a landscaper, let me see, let's do some, I don't know, perennials. And if I say I am in Cincinnati, for example, and let me just refresh this. Oh, I'll try with Salt Lake City. So you see that we integrated with this nursery that's called Progressive Plants. So you actually can flip this switch, and we are plugged in real time with their inventory. So
Whoa.
then the conversation is, I know I can buy this right now from this nursery in Utah. And we have a landscape contractor that buys everything from this nursery. So
Okay.
they were like, why don't you just put all the plants that they carry, so that I can,
Yeah.
when I'm choosing this yellow perennial, that I can just choose it from the inventory, or this red perennial. So essentially you're just designing, off the bat with a full on inventory. We created all of this. We have this online agent that, when we partnered with, the way we do this, we partner with nurseries, and they will share their inventory with us and make it available to all the contractors that buy the plants from them. So for the contractors is, and you will see how that kind of like trickles down in making everything so much faster. Because like, not only
Yeah.
can you design and that the plant is going to be there, can you place that order, but also it will, like, it is like walking through, like, I know some people that take the homeowner to the nursery, and like the contractor
Yes, and
walks
walk them through
walk
and
them through. So, you can think about this being that walkthrough. Like, imagine how much time that saves. And you have all sorts of different information from here, like what are the mature height, the hardness zones, and in some instances, when the nurseries have all the data, we can filter these plants by all sorts of things, like what is the soil type that you have, like is it
yeah.
clay, loam, sandy, what is the pH, what is the bloom season. So like, if we are designing for a particular, let's get interest in the spring, but also
Make
interest in
sure.
the fall, getting
Yeah.
that bloom season, and navigating that drought tolerant, fire tolerant. A lot of people want deer resistant. So as long as the strategy here, and our thought was like, AI is not good at, AI doesn't know all this information that is so regional. If you ask Gemini or anything, like, what is a good perennial that grows in, et cetera, that information is kind of like stored in the mines and in the inventories and in the different places of the nurseries.
Yeah.
As an example, here in Utah, we know that the hydrangeas can only be white. because the soil is not acidic enough. And that information is only, we only know that because the nursery is not growing, pink or purple hydrangeas, because it's just not possible. They
Okay.
might kind of like get all this soil. They don't want to sell it to people because then they plant it and it becomes
Well,
white, essentially.
and you don't want to design with plants that you can't get. And
Exactly.
if you can't get them, then they're more expensive. Are they likely to actually survive? I know that I've bought some plants. I've mail ordered plants that aren't. I'm in zone 9, and I've thought, okay, well they go to zone 8. I'll order them anyway, and they've died, of course.
Mhm.
So it's being practical about what is available to you locally and
Exactly.
what is proven. So can you order the plants from here?
You wouldn't order it yet, but you could.
Okay. Okay.
We are building towards placing an order, but like right now, if you want to think about where our product stops today, is up until the moment the customer says yes. Then
Okay.
you need to order.
Book
So
the
like
job.
that's the next step.
Yes.
Just book the job, get it scheduled, all of that stuff. We are not yet doing that. We are kind of like very, very much intentionally focusing on that first.
Inspiring and planning. Yes.
Correct. And so in addition to that, as you see, like in this case, when we were placing plans, most of them were just placed by AI. And you have all these plans here. So we built, aside from, you can place all the plants from that inventory or from the nursery, but we also built a tool that goes into the image, and you can select all the plants, and we will identify what that plant is, and it's, again, like match it to the nursery. So this white flowering perennial, the one that it decided it was kind of the top match was this daisy.
Shasta daisy. Yeah.
But then you can also go here, like maybe Chester daisy is not ideal. You can go here and find all sorts of white flowering perennials
Yeah.
that could match that, fit that design purpose.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Wow.
so it gives you not only like
You're
you
making
can
designers' life easier. You aren't replacing them, but you're making their lives a lot easier.
yes,
Or do you
yes.
think you're replacing them?
No, I
Let's
don't.
hear.
I don't think. You know why I don't? And it's similar to the way I think about the nurseries, is that there is knowledge that I don't
Yes.
think AI is able to have. Like, for example, a designer might know that a Shasta daisy doesn't play well when it's planted besides a, I don't know, hydrangea. I don't know. Maybe the hydrangea takes all the water. I don't know what
Yeah.
the actual driving factor of like what plants thrive with each other. I think that we
Yeah.
leave that to the designer, to like bring all that knowledge and say like, oh, I'm not going to choose the Shasta daisy because I know X, Y, Z, or I know the
Yeah.
region. I know that this plant is going to be like all, going to flower for just a week, and then it's going to look ugly the rest of the year. All of that,
Yeah. You still need your
knowledge
designer's
that is
knowledge. Yeah.
correct.
And well, but what I like about this is that it's not just AI, generic, whatever. You've narrowed it down. You've put in the zone. You've checked on style. You're matching, the stone to the house, all of those things. But you can also still manipulate it, each part of it. So, a lot of AI stuff, you just get whatever you get. This is, you get it, you've narrowed it down, you've given it parameters, and then you can still change all the individual parts yourself.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. One of the cool features that we launched earlier a couple months ago is, if you look at this image from this perspective, that gives you probably most of the thing you need to make a decision, if that is kind of the what you want to get to. But we came up with this feature that is called satellite view, and
Okay.
you just press that button, and it will create a top-down version of that whole design. So that sometimes it's just like maybe the plan, this is the plan, is like this is how it should look, this is how the things should be organized in the
Well,
yard.
and that's how
So
the team thinks of it that are gonna build it. They need to
exactly.
see it in that layout.
Yes. Yes.
Is
And
that
but
to scale?
that is, to the extent that it's AI, so it may not be 100% to scale. If you overlay this with Google Maps, and it might not be 100% to scale, but that we're not intending to replace a CAD plan. This is not intended
Yeah,
to be that. It's intended to be like, okay, like, this tree is going to be like covering the canopy of that tree is probably going to be too, you might want to trim it, or, you might want to replace that tree for something different. And you can have that conversation also, but looking at things from a different angle,
yeah,
and also looking at like how, yeah, like exactly. Like, and one of the interesting things here is, as if you see the photo, we don't know what's on the right, we don't know what's on the left. So the eye will, I will just make up something. So maybe this car doesn't exist. But the area that we were looking at, you will see that it matches kind of like almost,
yes,
one to one, the colors, the fountain, like how that was intended to be, even the hanging baskets where they were placed and so on. So it is accurate to the level we can get accuracy from
yeah,
AI. And so yeah, so you can get the list just by having AI pick the plants that look like what the AI generated, or put them yourself. And then here's the cool thing, this is probably an exclusive for your audience, is the next step that we are building is helping you create an estimate for that project.
okay,
Right,
awesome,
right from here, you will be able to create an estimate. There were two things that the landscape contractors we talked to, they told us where they spend most of the time creating an estimate. One was just like finding all the things you need to add. Like, if I'm going to get mulch, how much do I pay for a cubic yard of mulch delivered to the homeowner? How much do I pay for this particular type of rock? How much do I pay for this
yeah,
plant, and so on? So we have the integration with the inventory, so you can import all these plants that you selected here, and they're going to be all fully priced. And if the nursery has a particular price, they do have the special pricing with the contractor, and the nursery shares that with us as part of the integration, we'll be able to,
okay,
immediately, just with the plants you select, they're going to be priced right there off the bat. So that was step one, and this is our, as we're calling it, estimator copilot. But when I was adding this mulch within the materials, all of these mulch options get preloaded
wow,
into the system. So we know they pay $62 per cubic yard. This might not be accurate to an actual provider here, but the landscape contractors just sent us a bunch of spreadsheets of like, oh, my rock distributor this is the list of prices that they gave me, and we have an agent read that and introduce all the materials into the
wow.
system. So you're just like selecting the
Select
material.
whatever yeah,
Yeah. So that was the first like acceleration into the estimations, getting actual real prices from your vendors. And
okay,
then the second one was the takeoff, measuring these things, measuring like how much am I going to buy of mulch. And so for that, we created this 3D scanner, so that you see that the 3D version of it is I took that image, and we were able to convert it into a 3D representation of that. And as you were saying, to scale, there's a calibration step here. So we
okay,
asked you to say how tall is this garage door, or
good,
how long is this area from the house over to here, and you tell us like that line is gonna be this much, and then the whole 3D model calibrates, and this
calibrates,
allows me to just like
which is
draw an
what
area.
I mean, that looks like a real drone footage. I was using a drone to map out before and after photos for my projects, and that looks like a drone. A drone.
Yeah, it's a full 3D version of this yard, and you have a ruler, you have a measuring thing.
Wow.
So the idea here is like once you have the
Yeah.
area, we built in all the calculators. So let me show you how I would do this. If I wanted to add a particular, I don't know, grass, all grass, we have all these calculations that how much is it, $2
Hmm.
per square feet, and we're gonna go for that. It has a calculator for labor, so you can tell us like,
Okay.
okay,
I was gonna ask you.
usually my worker takes this many minutes to do that, and I pay this much per hour. There are some others that are like, okay, I just pay per square foot. There are others like, okay, this whole thing is going to cost something. So we have all the different options depending
Yeah,
on the way this this, like, if it's 300
the way that you normally
feet.
price things.
Yes, and the transportation was another thing. There's a calculator that when we translate that to cubic yards, in grass, it's not going to be that case. But when we calculate that based on the area that we just selected, we estimate, we make a calculation. Okay, translate that to cubic yards if we go 3 inches deep. So the calculation
Okay.
is in there. And then you tell us, like, we can use a F-150 trailer, and that can take up to 5 cubic yards. So we are going to tell you how many trips you need to do.
Wow.
All of that is purely calculated. And once you enter the area, like we were looking at here, this was 800 square feet. Oh, well, that was not the grass, but like let's say the grass was like 1,000 square feet that we selected there. So just by providing that information, you will have the tall grass. Wait, what happened with the? Oh, because it's the depth is not being
Oh,
calculated.
yeah.
But here with the mulch, the transportation is like, okay, you need 7 cubic yards, and you have $300 per 2 cubic yards of trips, and it
Okay.
it multiplies and it creates all of that. So the whole idea here is like you can very quickly enter all this information and have a full quote that looks like, if I go to the update quote version, this is the thing you send your customer,
Wow.
and they can you can send it and get the customer to accept that quote, and it looks very professional. It's just a link that is sent to the customer, and you get. So that's how we get to yes, from like we designed this thing. I very quickly pull up all the information in the quote. I didn't have to go in the night, at 10 p.m. getting all these quotes ready for clients after I've done
Yes.
all my visits. You can do that pretty quickly as well.
Wow. That is truly game changing. Um, and you've said that you have landscape companies using this tool, but the
Yes,
cost estimating part, that's a very new part of it. Is it?
that is correct. That
Okay.
was what there was the most asked feature was like, or rather, we asked them like, okay, what is it that is then your next bottleneck to get a customer
Yeah.
to say yes? And they were like, well, generating this quote, and I spend all this time. Usually you ask. I actually this happened. I asked the landscape contractor, okay, how long do you take to generate a quote? And he was like, about an hour. And I was like, okay, let's sit down together and let's generate this quote. And it was like 3 hours
Yeah.
later that we had the actual quote, because he had to go, like, he had like 10 open windows, like, oh, I go to mulchestimator.com and
Okay.
to go from square feet to cubic yards. So that was like a full page that he had open. And then he was like, okay, my provider, he has another spreadsheet with all the materials. Like, it
My
was a
goodness.
mess, like so many different tools that they were, juggling with, that I was like, no, I do see the problem. We just need to make all these things so much easier for you. Let's not have like 10 different sites. Let's just one, and it's going to give you all you need in order to do the quote. And this is not only for the designs that you generate on Neighborbrite. We can use that same measurement tool that I showed you with the in this case will not be 3D, but if you happen to have a CAD drawing, CAD drawings already have the calibration in the like how what is 1 foot
Scale.
in the map in the square. So you can actually draw the areas and just very quickly say, okay, this much is mulch. These guys have had a different tool to do that, only that one thing, which is like uploading the PDF from the design, drawing like a square, and it's like, okay, this much is demolition, and
Right.
doing all those calculations themselves.
Wow. So, yeah, all I can think is just it changes the goalposts for all businesses, because as soon as one business starts giving this inspiration and quote that quickly, everyone else is going to be a lot further behind. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that is in essence the contractors tell us that this product gives them an edge. Like if you're impressing people with designs like that level of, I guess my point is like that level of service, of very quick quotes, instant designs, having that conversation is going to become an expectation. If you're not
Yes.
doing that, I'm not even having that conversation. I got already 3 quotes, and your quote is coming in a week, or whatever. You have some time to generate that. That will definitely change how someone is
Well,
winning or losing jobs.
and owner operators can have a life now, like you don't have to be doing this at 10 o'clock at night. And yeah, and I think that, if you say that your design's going to be 3 months to wait, yeah, people are more impatient than that. Um, if somebody else is going to give it to them that day, I
For
think,
sure,
yeah, this is
for sure. And
crazy.
on your point on owners having a life, what I'm also seeing a lot of these companies that are owner operator, and they are the ones doing the visit with the client.
Yeah.
And the majority of companies, like in terms of numbers, are like that. Like they're landscaping
Yeah.
companies are small, and what they tell me is like the way I do estimates is like sometimes I have to skip steps. What you're doing here is making me really think clearly about my margins. Like here,
Well,
you
like
enter the margin.
transportation.
Yeah,
Transportation is something that you could easily leave off, and I think that was $1,200 on this particular quote, and then you're like, wow, you could have underbid by $1,200.
exactly. And
10% of the job.
yes, what they're telling me is like, oh, I can now send another person to do it, because like all of this, how do we generate a quote, is already codified. Like all my materials
Yeah.
are in there. By the way, the way this is integrated is like a single company shares all the data. So like if we have two
Okay.
people subscribed and they are part of the same company, they're gonna get, like, if they all
The
upload
hourly rates,
all
the
of that stuff is shared.
transportation. Yeah. Okay.
So like only one person has to kind of build it the first time, and then from there is like you can have people do it for you, and you will be, you can review things, of course, but you will be more sure. Like the way we built this each of these categories is like there's going to be always a labor and transportation and materials, except for excavation, which there's no materials for excavation.
Yeah.
But in every single case, like think about all these 3 variables. That those are very important. And let's not leave anything out. So yeah, that's going to be codified in the way the estimates are done.
And so let's say I wanted to add, so you have excavation and demolition. Maybe there's a disposal cost that I need to add in there. Is it easy enough to add that somewhere?
Yes, you can easily create a category
Okay.
and then say disposal. Here you add the markup for that disposal. Let's say your markup is 20%, and you're saying this is a non-material category, and it walks you through the whole calculation. So
Yeah.
like how is the disposal going to be calculated? Is it going to be by time, by unit
By
quantity?
volume. Yeah.
So like all of these are kind of, think
Okay.
about them
So
as
yeah, you can just
calculators.
add. Yeah.
Yeah. So if this is like a $500 charge, you can save that, and you can say like, okay, the transportation for that is a fixed cost, or actually is included in my $500 charge, and you save that, and you enter the if there's an area that you're calculating, you enter it here, and it will give you the disposal fee and add it to the quote as well.
This is yeah, this is so amazing, and I think that I had my reservations with the, Neighborbrite when we first met, and I was like, "Yeah, but I don't know if I like any of these designs. I don't know if I like." Oh, but you've done it in a very thoughtful way for business owners, and you've made it so that it's brainstorming and you can edit it, and you can, like I can see every time I could go, well, maybe I don't like that. But you've worked ways around everything so that it's can be completely manual. It can give you that, inspiration. I think yeah, I'm pretty impressed. Even though I'm a designer and like I like to have full control, but like we do need more efficient ways to do this, and we need to inspire people from day one. And I think, yeah, I'm excited about this as being a tool to use to have our industry do better and give give clients what they want more of, and we need, cost estimating done on the spot too, and all of that together is huge. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. You're very welcome. And that's all we want to do is like the reason we created the company was like bringing how can we bring AI to industries where the adoption is not there in a way that is affordable. Like this tool is one project you're able to sell, you're probably paying for the tool already, for the whole year. So it is intended to be like providing more value, way more value than it costs you, and that is a no brainer for companies to adopt it. And even trying it, we are the program we're running it for landscape contractors is, we run a demo with them and show them how to integrate all this information and make them the design product work for them. We're happy to once we do the demo, which is this essentially, like we walk them through all the things that are possible. We give them a trial week, and if they like it, then we onboard them.
And so how much is it for a contractor to have everything that you've showed today?
So we are starting with an introductory price of $100 a month per user. And on with the whole thing we just saw, the estimations,
Yes.
and think about it. This is like four different tools that the contractor that I'm designing the product with, he's paying for the takeoff tool, he's paying for a
Yeah.
measurement tool, he's paying for
Yeah.
an estimator tool, a quoting tool, like different things. So it is
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
a big deal. Yeah,
$100 per user per month. Is
yeah,
that right? Okay.
that's right.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I mean, yeah, really, to start off with, you only need one person using it. And then as you build your team and as you grow, as you do more jobs, get more jobs, you need more crews, you need more designers and estimators. The designer and the estimator is now one.
That's right. The, the designer can be the estimator. The estimator can somehow act as a designer if you like, or the salesperson can like,
Yeah.
right now all these roles with AI kind of like are all mixed together. But yeah, like the idea is to bring expertise to the everyone, and
Yes.
helping them.
Wow. Thank you so much for coming on and walking us
Thank
through
you for having
this. I
us.
think the estimating tool, the newest part of it, like really brings it all together. And you're like, wow, the fact that you can do that in front of your client and have that set up to sign on the dotted line right then and there is massive. So not only are you shortcutting the brainstorming side of things, you're then tying it to costs, which is very, tangible benefit and contract winning. So thank you. Thanks so much for coming on and
Thank you,
walking us through
Angelique.
this. And I hope that, we can help enlighten the landscape contractors and designers around the country how AI can benefit them today. So thank you for building this, and look forward to seeing what you do next with it. I'm sure you have some other plans too, but
Yeah, we're gonna build based on what our clients want and need. So that's gonna be our guiding North Star is basically building
yes,
what how can we help. That's how I started the conversations, is like, after you sign all these deals, what is taking you time and how can we help,
yes,
essentially.
love it, love it. Well, great. Well, look forward to chatting again, Luis, and
Thank
thanks
you.
for walking us through this. And what we'll do, those of you listening, have Luis has provided us a discount code for you to sign on with. So we will put those in the show notes, that discount code, and start playing around with it because this is the future.
Looking
Awesome.
forward to meeting them all.
Awesome. Well, we look
Right.
forward to talking to you again and having you on the show again. Thanks, Luis.
Thank you, Angelique.
Okay. See you later.
See ya.